Hi and welcome. So hopefully the new intros are kind of kicking in now, and the outros. Starting to have a bit of fun with them. Learn as you go. This is the Holife or Holife DS045A, and yeah, I had to write it down. Soldering iron station. It did have a bit of sponge in there. It comes with this little pot of scrubby stuff and soldering stand that you just push down into there. Two helping hands that you screw on, but I've kind of I removed them and I've frankensteined them onto an Audi. Not an Audi. Oh, my bad. I used to work for Audi. This was a Lidl's helping hands thing, which had this contraption on it, but I kind of frankensteined these onto it. I do like to have this in the background out of the way. I keep the soldering iron in a stand like this with my blue tack on it for blue tacking stuff down. I find it quite handy having that. So those things aside, let's strip this down. I do also have a old like metal jug of a car boot sale full of the scour and sponge metally stuff, which I use more than this, but there you go. We'll switch it on. It's not cold, but you will see the temperature heat up to the set temperature. So it came on showing 360, that's the temperature it's going to achieve. And now you can actually see it heating up from whatever it cooled down to 244, something. And there we go, she's now up to temperature. The little light flickers on just for every time the heat element kicks in. So I'll put it up one place and you'll see the little light flash. There you go, down in dot down in the corner. We are going to see if we can calibrate this. I might cut that bit out if it goes wrong. Settings are, if you press and hold the left button and turn it on, you'll get L01. Now you can set that from 99 minutes to 1 minute, and that means if the soldering iron's been left untouched or it doesn't feel any vibrations or anything, then it'll actually go into sleep mode. If we press and hold the right button and or the plus and switch it on, it'll come on with F for Fahrenheit. You press either button and that will go into Celsius, Fahrenheit, etc, etc. So this is going to go into sleep mode. There was a sponge there, but I found it handy for putting soldering tips into. I don't want to start dropping them in there because it'll feel the vibrations possibly. It's wiggling as it is, so we'll just hold that steady. I have got a little 15-1 project from scratch number 2 in pieces. I don't know if it's going to work yet. It's I've got a 10k variable resistor and the one in the project's a 50k. So I'll probably just, there we go, and into sleep mode. So I'll probably put something like I'm only going to run 5 volts instead of 9 into this one, so I'll probably just put a 1k or a 4.7 in to be safe, see what happens. So it's gone into sleep mode. If we pick the iron up, kick straight back into heat mode, and it's ready to go, and in a minute's time that'll go back into sleep mode. So switching it off, press and holding the plus button, switching it on, you can see F for Fahrenheit, and if we press either button it will kick between the two. So there's Celsius, and there's Fahrenheit. There we go. So we'll leave it in Celsius. Kick that up for a minute. Right, so we've now got our fake RST FG100 soldering iron thermometer. So while I tripod off for this, I'll be back in a moment. Right, so here I have Right, so here I have the fake RST FT100 that I bought off eBay. I didn't even realise there was a it was a rip-off of a brand anyway. I just bought it as a soldering iron thermometer. I think it was a bigclive.com video that I saw on YouTube. Links to bigclive.com in the description, along with the link for the other video with this one, where I learned about the original and the fakes of these and looked at a few. So we're going to need a wee bit of solder. Let's switch the soldering iron on. So you can see it's set to 360, currently at 214, so that's going to work its way up. The thermometer says it's about 11.8 in here. I wouldn't believe it, it's usually a little bit glass half full. Always the optimist, that's for sure. So that's saying 360, so we know it's in Celsius. This is in Celsius. Let's get some solder on the soldering iron, and we'll give this a bit of heat. This isn't a brand new element. So it's saying about 323. It will go up eventually, but we'll give the element a bit of a clean. Shake that off. Ooh. Give this a bit of. What are we getting now? Now we don't know how accurate this is because you've got nothing to test this against. So we'll have another crack at it. So that's about 330, let's say. So if we press and hold both buttons, we get all the dots. Now, does that mean we set this to 330? Because that's what it's supposed to be. So we've got the little dot flashing, which says it's heating. So that's still flashing, flashing, flashing. So that's bringing it back up to temperature, I guess. It's still flashing away like mad. Let's see where it's got to. So it's still saying around 330, and that's on 360. So let's try the buttons again. Set that to 300 to see what happens. We'll give it a minute to flash away and I'll come back. Actually, I'll change the thingy. So we press the button on the side and the little wheel goes down. You can pop that top loop out and then the loops on each of the two sides, whether it's worth keeping or not. I've got a little packet of them in here, so we'll just throw that one in there for desperate times. Get another one out. This is a rare angle for you. Got on the tiniest little bag for the biggest fingers. Oh, I didn't want one. Okay, so we'll pull one out. There we go. Found a handy use for that sponge holder. So we'll put those back in the bag. So these are blue and red banded, so colour coded on the points here. It's currently showing 1 degree Celsius because there's nothing to differentiate off. So we'll pop these without our glasses. With our glasses on, we can just about see them as it is. So that's on, that's on. Okay, so we got the bottom two on. So we need to press the button in and guide that top, oh, without knocking these out, guide that top one over, like so. So basically you just get that in there nice and tight, and then it should give a reading. So if I put my thumb on it, you see it shoots up to well, I don't think it go a bit higher than that, but it's creeping. .20-degree breath. Alright, that's gone to sleep. So let's get all this set back up. Let's wake Holly up. So we've got a fresh thing in. This is telling me it's up to temperature, so this will be a fair trial. So it's still saying 330, 333. So what happens if we press those buttons and go a bit higher? So we'll tell it 385. See, I don't know what these do, but as long as I've got this to tell me I'm roughly 340, 350, I'm quite happy. So if I need to up that to 370 to get this, it could explain why some of the solder's been stodgy. So that says we're back up to 360, so let's just heat this. Well, we've got it at 340. Okay, so let's increase it. Let's try 420. Okay, 425. So this has pretty much always been about 20 degrees out, and whatever I've done there hasn't made a lot of difference. We know just holding the right hand button adjusts Celsius to Fahrenheit, vice versa. And we know holding the left button changes the sleep timer from 1 minute to 99 minutes. Hour and 39 basically. But we don't seem to get any sense. If we hold both buttons we get the L. If we hold the right button we get Fahrenheit. Left button gives us the sleep timer. The only thing we get with both buttons is if we hold them like so. So let's go silly crazy. I still love this soldering iron regardless. As long as I know roughly what temperature it's working at, then I can work around it. But then the JCD 898, it wasn't a lot better. It was within the same sort of parameters, and the calibration was just as useless on that. We're still getting 336, 38. Put a fresh bit of solder in. .339. So what we'll do now is we'll increase the actual temperature to 380. Now I'm assuming we're going to get like 360, 355, something like that. .357, 358. So it's about 20 degrees out. So if I'm going to set this down, let's put it at 373. I reckon I'll get it around just over 340, 345, which will do nicely. .351 at the moment. Set the 370. There we go, 350. 351. So if you set it to about 370, if you haven't got something similar to this or some way of measuring the temperature of the solder, then I would suggest setting it to about 370. So you're kind of that, anything between 350 and 400 you could probably get away with anyway. So that's pretty much within your parameters. So apart from that being 20 degrees out and seemingly unchangeable, this is a cracking little station. I have had a few problems with some joints, solder joints recently, and I think that was probably due to the fact that I had it probably, what, 10-15 degrees too low. So if you see one of these for sale, and I don't actually see them for sale anymore, this was a cracking piece of kit, and I'd buy another one quite happily if I needed to replace it. But the JCD 898 had basically the same soldering iron, which is what I was using 95 or more % of the time. This has got, there you go, it went to sleep then while I was holding it. That's got the sleep timer on it, and it just makes so much more sense. If I go in and make a cup of tea and end up not coming back up here for 2 or 3 hours, that's cold when I get back. It's not damaging the iron, or it's not staying on for a day or two when it's been unused. So yeah, by all means buy one of these. The JCD 898, the heat gun is useful if you need that, but I didn't find it was helping what I was doing in any way, shape or form. It wasn't speeding things up, and in some cases it was actually causing more harm than good. So for the surface mount stuff that I do, I'm quite happy to place them, even if it's placing them on solder paste. I'm quite happy to put them on and just solder them down with a pair of tweezers. You can quite easily hold a blooming and just dab in on the solder paste. Works a treat. My preferred method. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.